This pair of Santo Cranes just recently had these small colts, which is what baby Santo Cranes are called, and is taking them out to get some food. Santo Crane babies are born very mobile, but their plumage is visibly very different from the adults. Much softer and downier, but also a very different color, almost like an orangish brown with some white on it as well. As they grow older, more and more gray starts to pop in, and eventually they end up with that bright red cap when they're fully grown adults. This southern black racer is very far into the underbrushes, but a little bit of its head sticking out, and you can see that reddish brown eye and the white chin that contrasts with the black on top of the body. This southern black racer right here is exhibiting a behavior known as periscoping, where they lift their head up above the top of the surrounding plants in search of prey. The Ornate Bellamoth has a very distinctive pattern on it, with colors that don't really look like any other species we get here. A combination of pink, orange, and white with some black spots makes it an easily identified species even from a distance. While the top part of the wings of a hammock skipper have very bold white spots and patterning, the underwings are more of a brown color with a bluish tinge, and that's what's visible from this angle. This is only my second time ever seeing this species, and definitely the best angle and closest I've ever been to one of these. They have a very distinctive behavior of perching upside down, either underneath leaves or on leaves. This right here is probably my favorite beetle species ever, the Geiger tortoise beetle. The color is very easily recognizable from a distance on this species. That bright green shining iridescence on it, and also that round shape, very different from other beetles. These guys live on the Geiger plant and only eat the leaves, flowers, and fruit of that one plant. The four-spotted pennant is a very common species in South Florida, and I probably saw hundreds of them on this one day. Just see how many of them are on this one tree right now. Before I started this video, there was actually this one, a black vulture, as well as another vulture, a turkey vulture, in this one tree. But then the turkey vulture flew off and this black vulture stayed in the tree by itself. And you can see that very distinctive vulture look, those all black feathers and the bare head. This is my first time actually getting a good angle and view of a sepia basket tail, where you can clearly see both the thick abdomen and the presence of orange on the top of the abdomen. The woolly bee fly is one of the strangest but also cutest looking flies because of its small size, large eyes, and hairy covering. The gray hair streak has an interesting pattern on it, with a bluish color on the top of the wings and the bottom wings a lot less heavily marked than most other hair streaks, instead with a plainer gray base and two thin dark red lines running down the wing, as well as some lighter red near the base of the wing and the head. It may be confusing at first why this dark brown butterfly with a few white spots would be called clouded skipper, but it's because from a closer look and from better angles, the slightly paler blotches on the wings are visible. In good lighting, these can even look pale gray in coloration. Even without seeing these blotches though, it still has an easily recognized look and dark brown color. This dragonfly right here, the cypress clubtail, is a lifer for me. Very similar to the sandhill clubtail, which is a species that I saw for the first time not too long ago. In South Florida, the cypress clubtail is the more expected species and can be differentiated from the sandhill clubtail by the line in between the eyes called the occiput. In cypress clubtails, this line is curved or lobed, whereas in sandhill clubtails, it's very straight. It almost looks like a panel on the forehead. This was definitely an unexpected sight, a pair of wild turkeys walking very close proximity to us, just crossing over a plain green field. The male is much bigger and has the red head, iridescent feathers, and that distinctive tuft on the breast, whereas the females are browner and smaller, and the head is also bare but more of a bluish-grayish color. This is still a special sighting to get this up close with a pair of wild turkeys, though.